A question. How many people in this room right now who are entrepreneurs? Can you raise your hand? Okay, it's quite a bit. How many of you are trying to raise some money? Well, obviously I'm not, but okay. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like it is easy or hard here? How many people think it's easy to raise money in the DC metro area? Nobody. How many think it's challenging? Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. In the DC metro area, you've got about 10 million people. It's the most powerful city in the world. It has the most educated populace in the United States. 25% about have advanced degrees. That's crazy. 1 out of every 4 people. Tons of PhDs all over the place. Johns Hopkins, let's talk about research, university research. Do you know that Johns Hopkins basically spends almost 2.5 times as much in research money each year as Harvard? It's crazy. So we've got all these PhDs. We've got the most powerful city in the world. We've got all the money. We have all this research. What's going on? What's happening? Less than $2 billion was deployed in venture capital in this entire area last year. Right? Now, let's go to the next slide. Hopefully I can get this working correctly. Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco Bay Area, obviously we know that DC has been here for quite some time. California wasn't even a state until 1850. Okay? 7.75 million people, so you've got less people. Over half of all venture funding was deployed in California last year. That's crazy. Right? Over half, and almost the huge majority of that was in the Bay Area. So now, to understand that scale, that's about 5 times what's deployed in New York or Massachusetts. People talk about how much action is in New York, and there's action. How much action is in Harvard, MIT, Massachusetts, there's action. It is dwarfed by what happens in Silicon Valley. And to, again, put a frame on it here, almost 22 times what is deployed in this area. That's crazy. So now let's talk about a broader picture. California did 510 deals. Q1 2018, this is according to PwC 2018 in Q1. New York did 170 deals. Massachusetts did 110 deals. Texas did 55 deals. That's your top 4. Once you get out of that top 4, it's a bungee jump. I mean, it's a bungee jump from California to Texas. Maryland, 16. Virginia, 15. I had somebody who's pretty high up, I'm not going to name the name, tell me, oh, this area is going to be the next Silicon Valley for the next 20 years. I hope. I guess. There's a ton of work to do. I mean, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. So, I don't want to be negative, I just want to be real, because we have to start this up. Of course, you know, being a good Hopkins student, I have to have my references. What's happening? What's going on? How many people think it's, because it's interesting, I hear it from both sides. So how many in the room feel like it's a lack of venture capitalists that are willing to put money to work? How many think that? I think that. How many think, because I hear the other side, think it's a lack of good deals? Might have some of that. So I think that it's a number of things. And we're going to talk about it all day. There's a great book, and anyone who's talked to me knows that I harp on this book like constantly. And it was something that was assigned to me when I was in law school at Berkeley, and it just stuck with me. It's called Regional Advantage by Emily Saxony, who was a dean over at Berkeley. And she basically looked at what was going on in the Valley and what was going on in Route 128 as a comparison. Route 128 is basically Boston, Harvard, MIT, all that type of stuff. Now, Route 128 had all the advantages. More money, more time, arguably better schools. You got to remember, the Silicon Valley wasn't that long ago. It was all farmland. They still call Stanford the farm. But it exploded. And there's a couple main reasons why it exploded. One of the things that the book talks about is the culture. So, and I'm not going to name names again, anything like that, but a couple quick anecdotes. I was training a VC group recently. And, we were talking about different things and the nuts and bolts and all that type of stuff. And I said, let me tell you how deals go down in the valley. I just threw that off the side and then we started talking. And it's a corporate group, and there's a place called Buck's Cafe, very famous. Tons of deals went down there. And this is all the stories and myths you've heard, back in napkins, everything, that stuff's real. So I'm jumping ahead. One of the things that I've found here, and it's not just here, and I don't want to make it, but I'm just talking, I don't care where you're at. Someone asked me, hey, what kind of diligence do you do? Do you call people? Do you do this and that? I'm all for diligence, don't get me wrong. Definitely need to do your technical due diligence and all that type of stuff. But do you know that I've hired people, I've done deals, I can't recall ever, I'm sure maybe one, but I cannot recall ever calling someone, oh hey, can you tell me about Salma? What do you think? Do you like her? Do you know her? Did you go to school with her? I don't do that. I don't even, it doesn't, if I can't judge you by talking to you, if I can't take a read on it, then I shouldn't be hiring you. It's crazy, right? And so what happens here, I think, because we're so steeped in this super research, super PhD, everything's red tape like crazy. And we have the strength is often your weakness. All the government stuff. So people talk about where you went to school. They're not talking about grad school, they're not talking about university, they're talking about high school. Boys Latin, St. Joe's, this and that. So it becomes, I think, a real clubby thing. People talked about how they missed Kevin Plank in Under Armour. How do you miss that? So let me tell you about how it goes down. And I'll just say this, I can sit here and talk about my resume. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm sure I will at some point. But really the secret with me, I was so lucky and so blessed, and I was in the right place at the right time. I worked for the #1 law firm, for pretty much the #1 partner in venture, and he knew everybody. And I was so good because I've been an entrepreneur all my life and have these cross skill sets to bring in tons of business to the firm, got help, get tons of them funded, and that got me a name. And I met the legends, Don Valentine, Mike Moritz, I can go on and on and on and on, and I'm not going to sit here and just name drop, but met them all, talked to them, worked some deals, learned. I was selected by Gil Emilio, the former CEO of Apple, to be in his venture fund. I had a super hot hand. So I've seen it. I know what it is. So let me take a little quick aside here, because I'm going to make this a little better for you. I'm going to name some things. How many people think that these CEOs could get funded here? Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Cuban, Peter Thiel, Brian Chesky, Travis Kalanick, Jack Dorsey, Young Song, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Ann Wojcicki, I can't pronounce that right, my apologies, Michael Dell, and Larry Ellison. Do you know a lot of those people are dropouts? A lot of those people with what I would call maybe rebels. They don't check the boxes. They didn't all go to the right schools, this and that, whatever. Some did. And so what happens in the valley is, Salma comes in, or I hear about her, or my friend, or someone met her at a cocktail party, something happened, I'm hearing there's a hot deal. Guess what, I'm on the phone with her that night. Here, people I try to take a meeting or something like that. Oh, I'm taking the weekend off. Oh, it's a holiday. Oh, I'm out of pocket. Oh, that's cool. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just telling you what it is. When I was there, I worked my first April, I didn't have a single day off. I did an IPO, I was 3 days at the printer. I didn't even have Easter off. I would go home, I'd be working. I'd be on the phone with clients. I'd be going to the gym, I'd see people there, we're doing deals there. So if she comes in, if I hear that she's got a hot deal, I'm clearing everything, I'm making it happen. If I don't have a term sheet to her within a week, I'm probably losing the deal. That's that's reality. People here are just slow. Super slow. And there's just no excuse. You're just going to miss a deal. Especially if you're a corporate VC. Because yes, there's some strategic value. Maybe there's something there, but you're not leading the deal. You're not leading the deal. And as soon as a bigger fund, a bigger name fund hears about it, it'll get snatched from you. Why do you think you have time on the best deals? You're sitting here waiting for these amazing deals to happen, and then people are like, oh, there's nothing that happens here. They don't stay here. Well, why do you think that is? I mean, some of this is rocket science, some of this is super basic. And I think that, like, for me, you know, I want to see what's happening in the Valley and that magic exported around the US. I think we can do some dramatic things here. And I know that if we don't do certain things, we are not going to be competitive globally. That's a bigger conversation. So what I wanted to do is try to change the game here with everybody else, because it's a heavy, heavy lift and it's going to take a long time. And I also wanted to have a broader conversation, because policy is super important, right? If you're talking Libra, Facebook, tech, or whatever, if you're trying to change the game in medicine, you've got to engage policy. That's huge. Media, very important. All these things, academia, very important. So how do we bring all these things together to create the engine that can build and fund and grow the next decades of awesome high growth companies right here? So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to thank you guys for coming so much. We're going to get right into the next panel.